Hey guys, Johnny Good here for Real Home Studio. I've had quite a few people over the last few months asking if I would do a studio tour, so here it is. It's the start of 2022. Seemed like a good time to do it, so welcome to my Real Home Studio Tour 2022. Just before we dive straight in, I want to remind you guys to please like and subscribe, and if you've got something to say, please do drop it in the comments box below. So here we are in my studio. Just before I show you around the studio and show you where all the bits are hidden to make the kind of studio work and the space work, I just want to kind of fill you in on this room, which is a hybrid room. It's by day a recording studio, home studio, filming studio for YouTube, and a general work office as well. It's also had bands in here. It's been a practice room. By night, it's a bedroom. It's where me and my wife sleep as well. We live in a 2-bedroom house, so we've had to work over the years to make this space work. And while sometimes it can be certainly challenging, we are always really, really grateful that this room is a big room. We've adapted it over the years. One of the big changes to make this room work was getting rid of the bed and then transitioning into ground living and sleeping on tie mats. That means by day we can roll up where we sleep, and we just have a huge amount of ground space, which makes this room possible to work from Real Home Studio. Because these days as well, doing the YouTube shoots takes up quite a lot of space when you've got the lighting and the mics, and those of you guys that do YouTube and film will know how much more space it takes up than you think. One big thing that I really want you guys to take away from this studio tour today is no matter what situation you're in, you can work professionally from your home studio. You can make it your living. You can make money on the side. You don't have to wait until tomorrow or wait until you've got a bespoke space or an extra room so you can have that dedicated to be your studio space. I used to work when I was in London from a very small studio flat and be able to get an awful lot of work done in that space. All you need to be is flexible to your environment and make it work, and realize there's no perfect home studio. We're all working in spaces which aren't fundamentally designed to be studios, and you know, things aren't perfect, and that's absolutely fine. Just do not let it hold you back. Get making music and get working, get earning money from your home studio. So to make this space work, I kind of keep lots of little bits everywhere. My guitars, for example, are in my son's room, and it's kind of funny because he kind of has my fantasy bedroom. He doesn't really care too much for guitars, but I'm like, if when I was a kid, having all the electric guitars and acoustic guitars on the wall would have just been like my dream. Most of my gig stuff I keep really separate, and then mics are kept in one unit, and then other stuff's kept in like another trunk over here. Everything's kept so it looks kind of nice as a bedroom, but by day it's kind of accessible. So it's a real question of balance, which I know loads of you guys out there have to do as well when you're running from a home studio. Okay, let's dive straight in and let's head straight over to the guitars first of all, and my son's bedroom. Okay, so just kicking things off in my son's bedroom, and I've got a bunch of guitars here, which, as mentioned, there's just not room in our room to fit them, and also not too keen on just having loads and loads of guitars hanging up in our bedroom. So from left to right, very inexpensive Harley Benton vintage Strat copy. Did a review of that on this channel. Excellent guitar, about £100. And then next to it for 50 quid, so another real bargain purchase, I've got a Yamaha Pacifica humbucker electric. You know, I've had much more expensive guitars in the past, and they've either been moved on or sold on, and I've ended up with these two, and you know what, they just cover the needs for all my studio work. You know, you've got humbucker and single coil. They're great guitars to play and really super inexpensive. Then next along, I've got my old vintage JHS acoustic, again, relatively inexpensive guitar. A vintage ukulele just for some stock work and just for having a bit of fun on. My old Manhattan jazz bass, bought this, wow, about 25 years ago. It's a bit of a beast. It's super heavy, but you know, does the job, fills in all the bass parts. Got to be honest though, guys, most of the time these days, particularly when if I'm doing stock music compositions, but also for so much work and production work and my own material, if I'm working with somebody else, I do reach for ample P bass an awful lot from Ample Sound. And here my uncle made me just before Christmas. He's a very clever guy. made me this cigar box 3-string, which is just awesome. I'm really looking forward to actually recording on that and getting some cool recordings done with that. Okay, so that's the guitars. Let's head back to the studio space. Okay guys, back into more familiar surroundings. So let me just dive straight into this white cupboard here, which is where I can see a lot of the mics and bits and pieces. You know, it looks nice aesthetically, and then inside it's just got more gear and stuff. So from the top we've got my Stella X2 condenser microphone review for this channel. Lovely Octava 319, that's from the mid-90s, beautiful microphone, love that on particularly male vocals. A whole bunch of different mics in here, just sort of mics I've collected bits and pieces from over the years. And the beautiful Lewitt matches, great overheads, great for stereo sources, you know, guitars, pianos. Great on their own as well, just excellent microphones. This side, I've got a case with more mic attachments. Right at the back, the Zoom R16, which I don't use so much these days, but comes in handy from time to time. And the case in the middle contains a wireless microphone kit, which generally use for outdoor use if I'm, you know, doing any production work. Okay, so onto the desk here, which is the main part where I work for Real Home Studio, and you can see it's super low down compared to normal desks, and there's no studio chair. If you watched my video from a few months back, you'll know why, that me and my wife and my whole family ground live, so we don't have any chairs. So I usually like to perch on this footstool quite a lot, or I'll just work from the floor, or just in a sort of crouched position, just in various different positions, comfortable to this position. And to make this work, obviously it's very hard to come across a low down table. I kind of had to make it myself, bought a second-hand one and then trimmed it down and then fitted this little shelf underneath so I can get some of my documents and stuff in there. But it just fitted in just really nice for this space, so it worked out really, really well. Then above the desk I've got like these two freestanding shelves, and that's where sit the wonderful Kali audio monitors. Again, reviewed on this channel. They're just superb monitors. Just can't rate these highly enough, especially for if you're in difficult situations or challenging situations, like I am in a bit of a corner, you know, and against a wall. These monitors are just awesome. Okay, next to the table and all the stuff, I've got this yellow chest. Everyone's got to have one of these in the studio. A yellow chest of stuff, guitar peripherals, some leads, pop shields. Just got a bit of foam in there and all sorts, just basically a chest to keep everything nice and tidy and out of the way. Nectar controller on the desk. Awesome controller, this one. Very inexpensive. I think it's like 61 keys, so it's a really, you know, it's big enough for most jobs, big enough for piano jobs. I use it for everything, for programming stuff. Had it for I think a couple of years, no problems at all. Next to it on the desk, Presonus fader port. I don't know where I'd be without the fader port now. It's just a great controller. I use it on my left hand and then use the mouse on the mouse on the right hand. I know some people use it as a mouse replacement, but you know, I kind of find this works for me using it that way. I think I feel a bit lost without a controller now. I got so used to it, and the new version I just absolutely love. Okay, so above from there, we've got a Focusrite. That's my main interface, 8i2, two inputs for your headphones. Pretty straightforward. That's the Focusrite, you know, Scarlett. 8i6. Really nice, stable interface. No issues there. And behind there, you'll see, just behind Ganesha, lots of backup drives, 3 backup drives. Better be safe than sorry. Just snuck in there as well. You'll see there's a little Behringer headphone amp just down there as well. Just in the middle of the rack unit, you'll see two rack items, and really these are just solely for YouTube. Something that is on my list at some point would be a nice pre. I quite like the look of the warm pre's, but a nice preamp. But you know what? I'm not recording that much in the way of vocals at the moment. Just can't really justify it. So much of my work is in the box. So I've got a DBX 286S. That is a preamp and sort of channel strip processor, and I use that completely for doing YouTube videos. This is a really popular channel strip for radio production studios and vloggers and podcasters, that kind of thing. It's really cool, and basically it just prints on the way in. So when I get my video and go to edit, everything's pretty much done on the sound. It's just ready to go, other than just getting it to level. So it just really speeds up the workflow. It's a great rack if that's something you're looking to do. And above that is just a simple level display, because my camera, my Nikon camera, doesn't have any sort of audio level on the way in. I know some of the Canons, or the Canons do have some sort of crude level, but not at all on the Nikon. So I've never any idea, or in the past, whether I was going to be doing a piece to camera and it might be overloading. So by using this, once it's calibrated, that's super handy. I just know that it's going to be going to the camera at the right optimized level. Again, it's just speeding up that workflow. Okay, so up from the rack mount, we've got the computer itself, which I do most of my work from, 27-inch iMac. It's getting old now, guys. This is from I think it's 2011, might be 2010. Still going. Last year, I got a solid state drive installed in it, which has certainly helped a fair bit, but it's going to need replacing at some point. It's still running El Capitan, and I don't want to change it, so I'm just leaving it as it is, and I think then there'll be a replacement fairly soon. But what a beast. It's done me really, really well. Behind my iMac, you can see my acoustic treatment panels. I've got some, I don't want to call them bass traps because they're simply just too small to be bass traps, but they're as much of a bass trap as I can fit in this smaller space, just in the corners there. They certainly do some work. And then we've got these panels here, these fiberglass panels. These were from Studio Spares in their sale, and when they do their sales, their acoustic treatment comes down really, really reasonably. I decked this whole space out for about 70 quid, which is pretty awesome. Above there, we've just got a shelf with all my books, my plans. I like to plan every week out, so at the weekend I'll plan each week, and that will go above my studio, so I know where to reach for. Some positive reading there. That's the science of getting rich. My Wallasty bottles. I've got some pens and bits and pieces, and this awesome plant, which is just beautiful. Brings a little bit of nature into this space, which is kind of important, I think. A couple of sets of headphones, both reviewed in this channel. SR850s and 950s from Samson. Closed back and open back. Awesome headphones for the money. I think somewhere about 40-50 pounds each. Okay, so a bit further back now from this space, I just want to show you the YouTube setup too. So I've got two sets of lights, which I've had for absolutely ages, just for video shoots, and two sets of diffusers as well, the white umbrella diffusers. The camera I use, as I mentioned earlier, is a Nikon D5100. Great camera, this. Relatively inexpensive now. You can pick these up for a couple of £100. Aside from having to use batteries with it, which can be a bit of a drag, I have tried. There is an AC adapter, but it hums when you're filming video, which is a drag. So it's a case of having to switch batteries out quite a lot when you're filming. Other than that, great camera. And that's set up here, so the mic's coming in here, and that's coming directly from the desk, coming directly from the DBX, going through the level meter, and then coming through and into the camera. So everything's being powered, like phantom power and stuff, from the DBX. So it's a kind of nice setup. And what's going into the DBX, you can see hovering above here, is my ADK A6 condenser. So it's going from here into the racks and through and out, back into the camera, which is a really nice setup. Like I say, just really helps to speed up workflow when I'm shooting these YouTube videos, and just make sure that I get decent sound. The other really nice thing on the DBX is the gate, the noise gate, which if you're filming from home can make a really big difference. Just in the corner of the room is where my beautiful Sigma acoustic, like Gibson copy acoustic, lives. That doesn't go in my son's room. That stays in here in its case. A couple of other stands and whatnots. Everything else stand-wise and lead-wise stays in on my gig equipment, and I'll just pick and choose that when I'm doing studio work, what I need. So it just all stays together in my gig space, and then that you know, keeps things pretty tidy. And finally, guys, I just want to share with you this awesome quote from Calvin Coolidge, which stays on my wall, which is a really cool quote. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. And that's a really nice reminder when I'm working, is to keep persistent, keep positive, keep determined. And I want to just share that message with you guys as well today, to keep on working, keep on making great music, and you know, keep on being grateful for these awesome home studios that we're so blessed to have. And just a couple of other bits I forgot to mention. We've got this Behringer, I forget what the name of the mic is. It's a Behringer XM8500. These are super cheap, like a £15 dynamic mic. Attached it to this boom arm. These are so handy if you're podcasting or doing like screen sharing things, like I do on this channel, but like for podcasting and stuff, or just actually in the home studio wanting to grab a mic and mic something up. Sometimes I've been just really super lazy and just stuck a mic on the end of this and just, you know, recorded a bit of percussion or something. They're just so handy, really inexpensive. You can just put them on the, you know, end of your table. Really good space saver. And these mics are just awesome. I use this for like podcasting and all sorts of actually recording when I'm using the computer, and they're just superb. £15. Yeah, awesome microphone. And something else I want to show you was the vocal booth, which is this clothes cupboard here with some bedding and stuff in, and when I'm doing vocals, this is just a great cupboard. It's right next to obviously the studio space, so it's just perfect. Just get a mic in here, and in here the sound is really nice and dry. So I've got a bit of phone as well. Sometimes I'll just pin that up onto this wall here, and you've got a really nice vocal space. And finally, you know, with like the vocal space, all about making the use of what you have. Finally, something else I forgot was this Manfrotto tripod, which I wanted to mention. Again, got this second hand. I think it's about 50 or 60 quid. These are expensive tripods new, but you can pick them up second hand, but they are well worth it. These Manfrottos, they're just awesome. So there you go, guys. There's my studio tour for Real Home Studio as of 2022. I think you can see from the tour that the space is far from perfect, but I'm so grateful for it every day to be able to work professionally from home and make my income this way. If you want to drop some comments in the comments box below, share some info about your home studio and your environment, let me know. If you enjoyed this video and anything else you want to say, drop in the comments box below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Most importantly, guys, go have yourselves a great day.